Have you ever wondered if a certain watercolor palette is for you, or how you would use a brand new watercolor palette if you just started out? Well, this video I'm going to share with you how I use a brand new watercolor palette and maybe some tips and tricks along the way on what helps me make the most out of a brand new watercolor palette. This palette comes from Woomerart, and it's about a $35 investment, and it is awesome. I love the bright pigments, as you can see, and the flow. The gum arabic to pigment ratio is amazing, and I can get a lot of beautiful colors with this palette. So come with me. I'm going to review this palette, and welcome to my new series on Supply Me all the fun watercolor products that I use in my studio. Hello, amazing watercolor artists. It's so fun to paint this time of year. I have been getting out and painting some florals. Daffodils just popped up, and so I'm so excited to paint some florals finally. I received a brand new product from Woomer Art Supplies. They are a wonderful company. I am going to test out this travel palette. I haven't opened it yet. It's 24 watercolors in professional grade, so I'm excited. They say the pigment is milled really fine, which makes me so happy because I love when pigment is super fine and it mixes well and it has vibrant colors, and there's a big difference between milling pigment that is fine and just regular milling. It means you put more time and effort into making the pigment, and the gum arabic is able to coat the little bits of pigment. So I'm excited to try it. Anyways, probably too nerdy for you guys, but let's get started. I got some paper. Let's open up this beautiful palette, since that's what I'm excited to look at. I like that it's packaged. I like that it's packaged in this foam. There's this wonderful card, share your creations, join the Woomer family. They are on YouTube and Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok. And so I'm excited to kind of introduce you guys to this. Okay, oh, look at that. It's so pretty. I'm going to take some of my scissors and just open the package. I always like to be very careful. I like the color of the palette. It's like a light mint green, and usually mint green has been very popular. So I'm wondering if they chose it as a popular, and it like reminds me of being in nature, so it's really pretty. And in here shows you the colors. I like that they also put the pigment number on. I'll show you that. I love that they put the pigment number on. That's really important. So ultramarine blue is always pigment blue 29. All right, I love that they have the numbers. In fact, I will probably save the back of this so I can reference it, unless it's with the swat card. But what I want to point out to you is that the number after the very bottom number in number gives you a light fastness. So you want a light fastness of 8 is extremely light fast. Anyways, I love that you have the pigment number, pigment yellow 3, pigment yellow 14. And that helps us know exactly, as artists, know exactly what color you're using. So even, and that's universal. If you go to a different brand, it's but that is really awesome that they put that on the packaging. I'm going to save that. I want to mention that I like when palettes don't come with a brush, because then I can put my own favorite brush in, and I don't have to waste the room for a brush that I may not like. So this is one of my favorite brushes. It's a medium 10. It's like ready to go. You could buy this and it'll just be ready. This is the Woomer watercolor that was given, and I have not tried this paper. Now, I have noticed just from the packaging that there's more of a smoother side and what I call the mechanical side. When watercolor paper is made, there's like this is the bottom where the watercolor paper sat. So this to me would be the front side, and this would be the back side. There's more texture on the back side because that's where like it was sitting while it was drying. If you know me, you know that I love learning more about my products that I get. And so this is me swatching. This is my time to relax and to just enjoy the process of swatching. I really found these pigments to be vibrant and true to the nature of the pigment, meaning the ultramarine, which is a little more granulating than other colors, was granulating, and yellow ochre is a little bit more transparent or opaque, and it was opaque here. So like knowing the pigments really helps, and I just love that the properties really work with the pigments that are in the set. So it's a great set. As I mentioned this before, the bright and versatile watercolors are ideal for illustration, fine art, bright, vivid color performance. They're perfect for layering and wet on wet gradients. They are also one of my favorite ways to paint. They have micro level grading, which is what I talked about, the little bits of pigments being coated in gum arabic. If you are in love with this palette as much as I am, you can get this palette for $39.99 with a 10% off discount code Lisa Christensen at Woomerart.com. Really beautiful. I love the pigments. Holy cow, the pigments are so bright, and I think it's a great price point. And I just want to kind of share with you how I would use this palette if I were out and about, or maybe why you might consider getting this palette. So I see a bunch of, and I just watched these, but I see this beautiful landscape palette, and let me show you those colors. If I were to make just a simple landscape palette, I would definitely use yellow ochre, and this is watercolor from Woomerart as well. So there's yellow ochre. It's a little bit brown. Usually yellow ochre is a little bit more yellow, but it's still beautiful. Look at that granulating happen. All right, and then I would definitely use this reddish brown. This is the more like a burnt sienna, but look at that. It just goes in beautifully with that color. Oh, so pretty. The blue, and I think I'll go straight in with the ultramarine blue, and I'll actually go in here. Look at that green that you can get. Holy buckets. Is that not gorgeous? And of course I could just fill this whole page up with neutral colors, but that's really pretty. What happens when I add the red to that blue? It's going to get a nice beautiful brown. It'd be perfect for shadows. Oh, so pretty. I can't get over that. So it'd make for a beautiful landscape. You can already see it taking form. And then of course, what's a landscape without some purple? So I would definitely go with the lotus color, which is the pigment is V23. So maybe it's dioxazine purple. I don't quite remember. But look at that. Between all of that, that is just gorgeous. For florals, I would definitely add a neutral yellow. When it comes to florals, there's my beautiful yellow. I would definitely need a beautiful red. And that is going to be, this is scarlet red. It's so pretty. And then I get my orange, right? But look at that. That's so pretty. And maybe I'll even, it has a little bit of to it. And then of course I gotta have my pink. I would definitely use this purpley violet. I can get pink with that red, so I don't need a super pigmented pink, but I'll go with this dioxazine purple again, a lotus color, because it's just so pretty. I'm going to add some more of that yellow. I love this yellow, this permanent yellow, but you really don't need all the colors, but you can tell the difference. This is low key, this is a high key. I'm also going to go into, let's go with the blue. I think I'm going to go with the, I'll continue with this beautiful cobalt ultramarine. Look at that, that's so pretty. And what happens if I add this ultramarine to this blue? Look at that, that's so pretty. It gives you like a beautiful lavender color. And this gives you a really pretty green. I love that. And then I did add some of that purple, but if you needed real purple, there we go. We got some regular lotus purple. So that's going to be my floral one. And look, same palette, just totally using different color differently. What I did was I added black to violet, and then I added this phthalo blue to this black, and it's looking beautiful. It looks almost like a seascape. So then I will probably, I want some teal, and I don't have a good teal color, so I'm going to have to mix it on the page. And I know that this phthalo green, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Right here, this is phthalo green. If I mix that in with the black and the blue, look at that, beautiful. But that would be a seascape color for me. So there's my seascape. There's my floral, and there's my landscape, and that's what I would use. And I would almost cut this and just have this in with my swatch card, so then I know what colors I could get out of this set. And it's a lot of colors, and it's beautiful. I love how the colors are mixing on the paper. That's why I love to mix. That's why I love washes, because you can really get some beautiful gradients and blends without even trying very hard. And how pretty is that? So, so pretty. So there is one way to stretch out your palette, is to just totally say, okay, I have bright colors and I have muted colors, or muted colors are the landscapes and the bright colors are the florals, and then my seascapes are just blues and darks. So a couple of tips for wrapping this up is use your colors to the best of your ability. Find out your favorite landscape colors, your favorite floral colors, and use those. And then you have a bunch of other colors that you can add if needed. If you found this to be at all helpful or inspiring, I would sure appreciate your support by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and even commenting on your favorite watercolor pigments that you use every day. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you can purchase this Woomerart 24 professional set for $39.99 with a 10% off discount code Lisa Christensen at woomerart.com. Thank you so much for watching. Play with your supplies, get your fingers dirty, play with your paper, and we will talk to you real soon. Happy painting!